Ruby Tuesday Art, and welcome to today's tutorial all about painting loose watercolor gum leaves. I know that lots of you are going to be really excited about this because I've had heaps of requests for Australian flora and foliage, so gum leaves is obviously a great place to start. And I'm also pretty excited to do this myself because in the beginning of my painting career, if you will, gum leaves and Australian flora were definitely one of my main sources of inspiration, and I'm always coming back to them. So let's get started.
Alright, so today we're going to be painting whimsical watercolour gum leaves just like these. To get started, I am using all materials from my watercolour kits that I have available on my website, shameless plug. I'm going to begin by mixing a really lovely warm green, because the green that you find in this watercolour tray is really, really bright, which is awesome for some things, but not a gum leaf. I've never seen a gum leaf quite that bright in the wild. So what I'm going to do is I put some green in my mixing palette, and I just add in a little bit of red to warm it up. And I haven't added quite enough red. You can see that the green is still pretty bright, so I'm just adding a touch more red just to warm it up a little bit more. And I've got a whole video about colour theory if you are wondering about this, and what I'm doing and how I'm working out what colours I need to grab and stuff for mixing, so do go back and watch that. I'll link it here too for you. So now I'm going to mix a bit of an orangey brown. So what I've done is just grab some red and grab some yellow to make orange, mixing it together in my tray, because the orange in my tray again wasn't quite the right color for what I need here for this gum leaf. It was just a bit too bright. And I'm just going to also add a teeny bit of this. I think I accidentally grabbed a bit of an aqua color instead of just blue, but there we go. That's the orange that I wanted. All right, so I'm using a size 12 brush today, by the way. I'm just getting everything in place, ready to get started. Sometimes that's the most time-consuming part of painting, is getting set up and ready to go. But I've got my colours mixed, I've got everything I need, and I'm ready. I'm going to start by painting with my size 12 brush, which is full of paint and also water, a C curve going down the page towards me. And then I'm going to paint another C right up next to it, mirroring that first one. And you can see that the paint is quite diluted and transparent. Oops, I've knocked my camera, sorry. Quite diluted and transparent, and that's what gives it that lovely flowing look. And I'm just dabbing in a little bit of the orange to add some variety like you would see in a gum leaf. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing again, the C curve. I'm also adding in a bit of a weird wiggle in the middle to sort of give that torn edge kind of look that some gum leaves have, and I'm dabbing in some more orange again. And I've decided that I want to also add a bit more, I guess, depth and a darker brown to this. So I'm picking up a dark brown off the other half of my tray, just on the very tip of the brush, dabbing off any excess, and then I'm dabbing that dark brown into the end of this gum leaf, and also just putting a random dot of it further up on the leaf too. Because if you have a look at gum leaves, if you go out and pick up a few, you'll notice that none of them are the same, but they are full of really interesting patterns and colors and dots and things like that, and that's sort of what I'm trying to loosely mimic here. So I've done those two C curves again, mirroring each other right up next to each other, and then dabbing in some more brown. And now I'm painting another one using the exact same technique, but I've actually used the orange instead of the green. Because again, all gum leaves are different, and some of them are brown, some of them are green, and there's lots of variety within them. And by dabbing in just a few different colors like the orange and the brown, I'm using the wet on wet technique, which again I have a whole tutorial about, and I'll link to that here as well. But I'm using that technique to just dab in some different colors and then just letting it flow and not moving it around in the leaf. So you'll notice that I painted the leaf, dabbed in the color, and I have not gone back in with my brush to move it around. I'm just letting it do its thing. So now it's just out of screen, off the screen unfortunately, but I'm mixing up a really cool blue-green to do more of like a silver dollar type gum leaf. And I don't know what I just did. This is probably a good example of what not to do. But I'm sort of salvaging it. Yeah, it doesn't really look like a silver dollar leaf that I've seen. But that's kind of the beauty of what we're doing, is that we are doing a really loose sort of impression of the leaf rather than trying to do anything particularly realistic. So with these silver dollar leaves, I've mixed up my cooler green using that same green and also a blue that I've mixed in. And then I'm just doing the same technique as before with the C curves mirroring each other, but I'm making the C curves even wider to make it more of a round shaped leaf. And I had a bit of trouble with the first two. I had to fill in the middle of that second one because I left a bit much of a gap, but hopefully this time around, here we go, it's working a bit better. And we're not aiming for perfect because that doesn't exist anyway. We're just aiming for really lovely, beautiful impressions of gum leaves, and that's exactly what you'll achieve with these techniques. So I also have a brush strokes tutorial and a tutorial just about painting leaves that will be really helpful with these techniques if you want to give it a go. If you've watched this video and you're feeling a little confused, go back and watch them and then come back here and give it a crack with these techniques of dabbing in extra colors and using wet on wet technique.